Hey Parker, can I play on my modded Arcade1Up Centipede cabinet?
No, Dad. I'm playing right now. Mod your own.
No, that's what I said. That's my modded. I modded that.
Hey everybody. So this is totally different from my guitar channel, of course, but guitaring, gaming, it's all the saming. And this is going to be my assembly instructional video, at least for my initial purchasers, and also to let you know about a project that I have just created and just put out and actually sold out within an unbelievable amount of time. So if you're one of the first people to have one of these kits, first off, thank you. It was all conceived down here in the MSI Custom Products wood shop on our CNC machine. The whole idea behind the ArcadeDoubleUp Kit is we're going to take our leftovers. This is a leftovers kit. This is going to be the first thing I'm offering on the site. We're going to take our leftovers from when we mod our Arcade1Ups. You've probably seen the videos of me playing guitar with the arcades in the background. Those are Arcade1Ups, or they're bar tops that I've made myself. And in doing all of that, I decided that I wanted to do something for the community to use some of these leftovers. So my first kit assumes that you're going to have a marquee. You can have this piece. If you don't have it, no big deal. I like to take it off of the monitor just to make this all a little bit easier. You can do it with it on there. I would loosen these screws that are holding the marquee in place. I would loosen those just a little bit so that you can get it maneuvered properly. It's just a little bit tight getting that on, but you kind of want that fit once it's all in place. It's going to assume you have the marquee, that piece, your monitor with, well, there's my USB monitor, but with your monitor with all appropriate cables, your ribbon cable, your power supply, and also your power supply extension. Okay, keep all of this separate at the moment. I like to take it all apart. Now this kit is designed for use with the control panels from Generation 1. It also will work with Mortal Kombat, and from what I can tell, Final Fight. I can't promise that yet. If somebody wants to bring one over, we can test fit it and talk about a deal for it. But I think Gen 1 and Gen 1.5 products, anything without speakers behind the marquee, this kit will fit. In the kit, you'll get either attached to the box or tucked within the packaging, an instruction manual. You'll get a pack of screws. You'll get two sides, okay, so a left and a right. And in those sides, you'll see 1.5-inch screws, Phillips style, and some inserts. And I'll show you how I like to deal with that. I'm going to put that one over to the side for right now because I have my two right here. While those screws, the control panel screws are in place, I like to put a little tape over the inserts so that they're lined up and that they'll go right in place. Okay, first thing that you're going to want to do is take your marquee screws out. You should have your original two marquee screws. So if you have a couple of your original screws, you'll be able to use them there or with your control panel. Remember, if you have plexiglass, those original screws are a little bit short, so I've given you screws that are just a little bit longer so that you get a little bite into the threaded insert. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I keep my two shorter ones with my marquee. I'll put them to the side. You take your dowels, original dowels. I've given you wooden dowels, and they're going to be for your cross supports. You take your two marquee dowels and put them there. I'm gonna read my instructions along as I go, the ones that I sent in the kit. And I'll tell you anything that I do here that may help along the way. So put the dowels in to the two holes and you'll have a larger center hole. Place this and you'll see that the marquee will align with the insert right there, just right. So while this is here, you're going to now take your monitor and carefully watch your cables. You'll see that rabbit line, that slot right there for the monitor. Make sure the logo is up to the top. And see, this is why I kind of like to have them separated. You can do this all at once, but for me, it just makes it a little bit easier. And also, there's a little bit of plexiglass. There's a spot where the plexiglass stops, and now you can re-screw these from the back if you would like. I'm not going to do that at the moment, just to make it easy. Okay, then you're going to take 4 of the 1/2-inch silver screws that I've given you in the kit, and you're going to mount your monitor. Let me go ahead and move the control panel out of the way for a minute. You're going to mount your monitor just like you would in your standard Arcade1Up cabinet. You're going to screw these down right here. All of this can be done with a Phillips head screwdriver. You just got to give a little force, put it into the hole, and then push it into the wood. Put it into the little hole that's there for the monitor. If you want to do all 4 of these, this project kind of started for me a good couple of years ago. I guess I heard of Arcade1Up, and the first one I got had a bad screen. So they sent me another one, and then I realized after looking at the screen, if I changed the angle of it, it wasn't bad if I'd used it as a horizontal monitor. But my original Centipede monitor was vertical, and it looked really washed out from the center off to one side. But on the other side, it was fine, and from, different perspectives, it was okay. So they sent me a whole nother one and a whole nother CPU, and I was like, man, that's got to be expensive to be sending all that stuff out. So after kind of messing with it, I made a bar top for that monitor and learned how to do Raspberry Pi work and stuff like that. And that was a couple of years ago. I guess at that point it would have been about a year and a half ago, because it was right after I got my first Arcade1Up. And it gave me this idea to kind of come up with something that works. And now, with having some downtime from these times, I've kind of been able to translate this onto a pattern on our CNC machine and create a product that is pretty easy to assemble. So you see, it didn't take me long to put those 4 screws into place. Next thing we're going to do, so that's step number 3. Using the original braces from your monitor, make sure it is fully screwed down. And the wood screws are self-tapping, like I say right there. So don't use the original monitor screws that they give you to mount these into the wood. It's not going to work. They're not wood screws. Okay, so now we're going to take our cross braces. So a couple people asked, what are the notches for? This is how I orient the notches. You have your monitor power supply on this side. It's on the, when you're looking at it, it's on the back right, but from the front it'll be on the left side. So I like to make sure the notches are facing the back of the cabinet, not the monitor. I put the 4 dowels into each one and place them into their proper spots here on the back. You see I have those ready to go. Okay, and when we go and plug in the cable, that's just going to make it easier and not get anything bound up. So you want these notches to be facing the back and in line with this, or if you really want your cable to come out on the other side, you can do the same thing. In fact, I'll show you. With that original power cable, you can just flip these around, and let's say you have this positioned in such a way you want it to be plugged in over there. You can set this up over that way now. Just flip the orientation. And that way, when you go and put the back panel on as the last step with and plug in the cable, you won't have it bind anywhere. You won't have it really catch on anything. It kind of gives you something to work with when we're doing one of the last steps. Okay, so we've got those like that. It says make sure each knot, I go into the notches there on step 4. So while it's still on its side, put on the second side panel. While it's still on this side now, I take my second side panel and I make sure that I've got it kind of lined up. Okay, I'm missing a wooden dowel right there just from doing this a number of times. One of them popped out. I line up the Marquee dowels, and then I kind of get this in place right here, this brace. And then I look at the monitor, make sure that it's in place. Get that last one in place. Just kind of have to finagle it, just like you would an original Arcade1Up. Now that notch, can't quite see, but at this point, this notch, just like the bottom, is lined up in here. Whoop, and you want to be careful. Okay, so I like to just go ahead and while this is in its place, take a Phillips head and one of the wood screws. See, it's a flat head as opposed to your round control panel, and it's got a nice threading that's going to pull the wood together. Put that into the hole for the cross bracing. Okay, push this down. Okay, it'll pull that right in. I go ahead and take my original Marquee screw, pop it into the Marquee place. The ones that I provided will work if you have screws already from doing mods and you have a couple leftovers. Those should all work. I'll save my other Marquee for when I flip it over. I'll take my second wood screw on this left panel, screw it into this cross brace here. You got a couple of choices now at this point. You could kind of proceed and try to mount the monitor up into the top here. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and pull this to the edge of the table. And I know I can find that hole real quickly and easily. Yep, it's just right there underneath. And now I can screw this bottom brace in. And that's going to just kind of help hold it together when I do this next little move. And so now I have 3 of 4 of my wood screws in. My fourth one is right here. It's going to go on that side in a second. But now I know I can at least hold this from the bottom and pick it up. I think in the instructions I may have said come out it one way or another. You could either put this first, put these monitor screws in first. I still have this side to do. While I have this up, I'm going to go ahead and continue to reinforce this. That way I don't have to feel like I have to hold it together while I do the monitor. So you just take your fourth wood screw, screw it into the top of the right panel. And I've pre-drilled holes into these cross braces for you, so everything will line up just right. Okay. Go and take your other Marquee screw and throw that in there. So now we have our 2 original Marquee screws in place, our monitor and our Marquee in place, and we've got our 4 wood screws in place. So you can see it's already starting to come along. That didn't take too long at all. We can pass our ribbon cable through here, just so that it's ready. I've taken all of the, obviously everything out of all of my hardware out of the little bag. And I've got 6 wood, small 1/2-inch wood screws left. You're going to put 2 of them aside with your control panel screws, and now we're going to take these last couple and we're going to hit these holes right here real quickly, okay? Okay, so we've gotten ourselves along through my instructions here to about step 7 or 8 or so. We've done the one side, we flipped it over, we've done the other side, and now I'm standing it up. In your kit, you'll have 4 insert panels: small, medium, large, extra large. I've gone ahead and printed myself up a nice decorative sticker for my small one. I'm going to stick that in the front here. These are the 4 games that are on here. Okay, you're going to go with your smallest, and then you're going to take your large one, not the extra large one, but this one is completely bare wood, no holes, nothing like that. That's designed to push in from the back. You want to make sure it's wide, not skinny. If you go in like this, it's not going to catch the notches. There's going to be notches on the back of this, as you can see. And you want to slide that through here, all the way into the bottom. So you don't just put it on the bottom, it actually will fit into the notching. And then it's designed to push all the way up to the front of this bottom panel, which is starting to already come off because I'm messing around with it so much. So once you get that in place, try to make sure you're leaving it pretty secure, because the front is still not pulled together. That'll happen when the control panel is in there. So you do want to watch and make sure that this front insert is touching the bottom of its rabbit line. It goes all the way to there. And then the bottom one inserts all the way to the back of that. And then carefully, don't pull these apart, otherwise that front insert will come out. Now, while we're here in the back of the unit still, we're going to plug our power supply extension cable in, the original Arcade1Up power supply. If you don't have that pass through, I can show you what we can do, how you can bypass that in just a second. But you'll basically plug that in and you'll have this laying on the inside here ready to go. Before you put in your back, make sure you put in your top piece. Okay? Sweating, it's hot in here. These kits are unfinished. Like I said, they're completely unfinished. You're going to want to probably take it apart, take it out of the kit, and put it together one time with whatever you think you're going to use, just to make sure you got an idea of it before you start really getting down with painting it or putting decorations on it. I would recommend some sanding. And one of the reasons I can keep the cost kind of low is that I'm trying to not have to do a lot to it afterwards. So as you can see, once I have that top piece in place, run my pass through here, or take your power supply and plug it in there. Make sure you're plugged into your monitor there. Push this all aside, pull it down. You have plenty of room there to do what you need to do. Turn it back around. Give it a little tap, like I said, that'll pop right into place. With that tape on, it really helps just keep those straight up and down. And the screws will go right into those inserts. Don't tighten down too tight, right? Especially if you got plexi. See, now this one, on this side, is a little bit out of line. I have shifted this front panel some. So, you want to just make sure that front panel is in its place. See, by moving it around a couple of times, I already pulled that panel out. So make sure that front panel is there, and your back panel will rest all the way there. Your bottom panel will fit in between the back panel and the front panel. It's designed to sit in between those two. So you should not see the bottom panel at all. You'll see the back panel and you'll see the front panel, okay? I keep saying okay, okay? So after we have that in place, this in place, we've got our power plugged in, we can do our control panel. Right into place there. Tape helps them stay secure. Tighten them down a little bit. Not too tight. Okay, and then you're going to take your last two screws. You're going to do the back panel. And I've put a hole here and a hole here for you to screw into the back panel. You want to, like I said, make sure you pushed all the way down in that rabbet. First one right there. Second one down at the bottom. Just before you get this in place, make sure you're not out of line, but it looks like, the back braces help keep all of that in line. The only problem I've really had is the front panel coming out of line after I just moved it around a couple of times. So now we have the last of our hardware installed. We have our power pass-through in place, and we have a horizontally positioned Arcade1Up doubled up. So, the big question is, in your mind, does it work with a vertical screen? So here's Centipede, and you can see that that's vertical, oriented this way, and then here's the Rampage 5x4 horizontal. So this concept of doubling up your arcade, after you've modded your Arcade1Up, you'll have these leftover parts, and you can buy the leftover kit from my upcoming website. Please hit subscribe, click the bell so that you can get notified of when I start doing videos about this, and also, of course, guitar videos. I know we'll have a website to sell these because the demand for these was they went out the door in no time. I could not keep up with stock, and my wood guy's on vacation, and I'm about to jump on vacation. So the beginning of August, all of this should be launching and available for anybody that didn't get a hold of the kits right off the bat through the forum that I'm on, the Arcade1Up official modding group, which is a great group. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to everybody out there who made this possible. All of your support gave me the drive and the incentive and the ability to be able to use some resources that I have to put this together in a really easy package. Like I said, you'll get something that's like this, possibly with speaker holes. I've sent out a couple of different versions, and you can start doing whatever you want to it. Start printing up some stickers, start painting it. I would take it apart, obviously, before you paint it, but I would put it together when you first get it, just to make sure you have all the pieces and you have a good idea on how to do it, and you don't bang it up too much. You know what I mean? And then you can take your Arcade1Ups leftovers and double up your arcades. You can put this one next to your modded Rampage and put this one next to your modded Centipede. And this all really, like I said, started because I wanted a Star Wars looking cabinet, and I took an Arcade1Up screen and put it in a shell that I had made here out of scraps at our wood shop. I kept coming up to the guys and saying, hey, put that aside for me. That's just right. You're going to throw it away? Yeah, we're going to throw it away. Put that aside for me. Okay, I'll do something with it. So I kept amassing pieces of wood over the course of a couple of weeks and came up with some ideas and some plans. And here I am 2 years later with the ArcadeDoubleUp idea. So please, if this is something that you like, hit the thumbs up, leave me a note, leave me a comment below, and I will be doing some follow-up videos on how you can order. And of course, I have guitar videos in the works, but just so you know, this is one of the reasons why I haven't been able to do quite as many guitar videos lately, and the reception has made it worthwhile. So really, thank you everybody for tuning in, and this is a lot of fun. This is really a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun getting the messages from the people. Big shout out to Mad Dad's Gaming, no spaces in that. Mad Dad's Gaming, he bought a kit from me right off the bat. He was one of the first people, and he's already making a video about his assembly and what he thinks of the kit. Hopefully he likes it, but check out his channel, Mad Dad's Gaming, and do please click subscribe and click the bell so you get the notifications, and I'll have more information up here really soon. Thank you everybody who's helped support me to this point right here.
Hey, Dad?
Yeah.
Can I play on your modded Centipede?
I just.
But I like it more.
Go ahead.